So at night, what ends up happening is our mind starts to race. I'm like, are they having sex? Are they not having sex? Is he thinking about me? Does he miss me and the kids? I remember one time I asked him, do you still miss me and the kids? Even though he saw us every day, even though I had access to him, he didn't cut us off. He never just dropped us. He never did that. But my insecurities were speaking louder than my dreams ever dared to.
Warning, what you're about to hear may challenge your beliefs, confront your excuses, and expose where your frame may be weak. Good, because comfort doesn't build leaders. Truth doesn't follow trends, and legacy was never meant for the crowd. Our content is made for men and women who value truth over trends, structure and substance over style, and legacy over likes. If that speaks to you, welcome to Outstanding Personal Relationships. I'm Coach Nadir. Let's get it.
Let's talk about spilling the polygyny nighttime tea, what not to focus on. Now, if you're new here, my name is Coach Fatimah, 1/3 of Outstanding Personal Relationships and co-author of the book, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. Now, in this video, I'm saying the things that you might not want to say, or maybe not even want to think about. Now, I did a video some months back, and it was a revision to a video that I had done a few years ago, what I do at night when my husband is gone to his other home. This is spilling some of the tea. Now, early on in the early years of polygyny, I would cry myself to sleep often because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't have a lot of clarity. And I can't say he knew how to answer some of the questions that I had for him because he had never been in polygyny. He picked year 15 of our marriage to go in marry again. And I say that with some hesitation only because we all have a learning curve and he didn't have support. He just didn't. If he had it, I would say that he did. And in the city that we're from the upper Midwest, nobody wanted to talk about polygyny. It was very done very privately because it was such a sticky, difficult, triggering topic to bring up. He didn't have support. And I had to understand that, and it took me some time. It took me a lot of time to listen to that fact. And I'm not giving him a pass because a lot of people, oh, Coach Fatimah, you're being easy on. No, this is what happened. That's exactly what happened. We didn't have support. I didn't have support, but I did have a very strong friend group. But even with that strong friend group, I would be so sad, and I didn't even know how to frame the questions that I wanted to ask. So at night, what ends up happening is our mind starts to race. I'm like, are they having sex? Are they not having sex? Is he thinking about me? Does he miss me and the kids? I remember one time I asked him, do you still miss me and the kids? Even though he saw us every day, even though I had access to him, he didn't cut us off. He never just dropped us. He never did that. But my insecurities were speaking louder than my dreams ever dared to. And I consider myself a dreamer because I'm such a creative person. And I just say that because I've only been that way since I was little. It's a gift I do have, and I thank Allah for it. And I know it's not something that I made inside of myself. No, that's just a gift that I have. But with all the gifts that I felt like I had and was still working on, the insecurities creep up, and then the voices of other people, and then the assumptions are speaking loudly. So you start to think about things that you should not speak about. And this is what interrupts our peace. We think that our biggest obstacle is going to be our co-wife. And it's really ourselves. It's not her. It's us. And what we say to ourselves about our marriage, especially in the nighttime hours. Do we say, you know what? He's not here. I'm lonely. I want a divorce. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to be lonely. There's a difference with being lonely and being bored and being alone physically and being alone with your own thoughts. There's such a big difference. What is on your schedule when he's not around? Have you created one? It's self-help for a reason, because we have to get in the game ourselves and start to redirect ourselves. I didn't know how to do it either. I didn't know what to do. And I said, okay, if he was gone and he was out of town, let's say on vacation or whatever the case may be, with like friends, he's went out of town and talked to his friends about business, had a very small vacation where he's connecting with other brothers and networking and going to the beach and eating out. See, with the guys, he's done that. Not often, but he has. I said, how would I treat myself during this time? Would I mistreat myself? Would I second guess myself? No, Coach Fatimah, because there's not another wife on the other side. Another wife being on the other side or in his life, I discovered through much work, had no bearing on my beauty, on my talent, on what I brought to myself and my children and my husband in this world. It didn't, never has, because my co-wife doesn't have that power. And if she ever did, she didn't want it. And I might have just haphazardly gave it to her. She didn't even ask for it. She didn't want it. She didn't want no smoke. She didn't want any of those things. So getting out of my own way was important. So my T is, I thought to myself, with the encouragement of a dear friend of mine, she said, you've cried about this already, right? She had been in a marriage that failed. She would tell anybody. She was in her own marriage that she was not happy in, and it had nothing to do with polygyny because her husband wasn't in it. Most women are trying to survive polygynous marriage, but what if you thrive instead? That's why I created the Frame Playbook for Women. Frame is a practical approach to help women get through their emotions and straight to fulfillment. Because your life does not have to end when your marriage changes, so that you can become stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled. So make sure you visit polygamybooks.com to get your copy today. I'm Coach Fatimah. Peace. She reminded me of all the goodness that I had and to be grateful. I had to 10x that and remind myself that my life is not over because my husband is not in the room with me. I've not been abandoned by him. He'll be back. My world should not revolve around him. Remember, I said I didn't start out that way. I know the pain of being in a room alone and wondering and letting my mind race, only to be met by a hug from him the next day, or a visit, or some reassurance. But before I ever got reassurance from him, I had to put it inside of myself and get it from me. That felt good. It still does. So what I do when he's gone is I pray, I read, I create, I sleep, I watch a good show, I spend time with my children, I laugh with my friends. I think of new ways to uplift myself. I think about the pros and cons of being me and what I need to work on and what I need to celebrate. Again, the heartbreak that I have experienced was speaking so loudly to me that it drowned out my confident voice. And I've always felt like in my adult life a confident woman, because I had a confident woman help raise me, and a confident grandfather, a confident grandmother, a confident husband. I had that around me for the majority of my adult life, to the point where my daughters said, we got our confidence from you. I didn't know they were going to say that. I didn't really realize I was doing something for them in my life. As far as confidence went, I'm like, I taught my daughters how to like art and color and being Black women and celebrating that, and don't let anybody talk you down and talk you out of celebrating the fact that you're a Muslim woman who happens to be Black, and if you look racially ambiguous, that's not something to not celebrate. However, where are our roots from, and things of that nature. To the point, and this is a little funny side story, my daughter went away to Arabic school, an intensive course to learn Arabic more deeply. And she was in a house with girls that were Desi, and they thought, based off how our daughter looks, that she was Desi. And they got on her nerves to the point, because part of it is saying, this is what's beautiful. So you must be something else. To the point where my daughter got a t-shirt, and I love this story about her. I love her so much. And it said in red, black, and green, Black every day of the month. And she wore it in the house, and I hollered. I thought it was hilarious, but I didn't know I was pouring into her in such a way that she would have the confidence to go out in another state, find this shirt, put it on, so that we're all clear about who I am. This was a bold statement. My daughter's an introvert. All my daughters are introverts. I celebrate that fact. I love that about them. I think it's funny. And my kids teach me every day. Their father teaches me things every day. So the goodness that I was blinded by my insecurity, to the point that I didn't see what I was pouring into others, whether it was intentional or unintentional. So I have to continue to work on that. Have I messed up? Yes. Said the wrong thing? Yes. Have I had to apologize? Yes. But that's the beauty of learning. That's the beauty of having a night without your husband. He's without you too. So our husbands can't get us from another wife, and he can't get another wife from us. So my husband can't experience Coach Fatimah with Coach Naira. That's not how this works. I want to experience me too. I want to know what it's like to grow and change. And sometimes that happens at night. That happens at night when he's gone. And that's okay. He never said, you know what, I want your whole world to revolve around me. He never said that. So I love the fact that I found that out, maybe in a hard way, but I celebrate the fact that I was able to identify and get my night together and celebrate me and spend time with my children and watch movies and laugh, braid my son's hair, braid my daughter's, whatever I got to do. Finding the joy in the journey was important for me. So I invite women that are having every other night where they may feel lonely, find something that makes you feel good. Celebrate that. Pour into you. And don't have any expectation that that's someone else's job. So yes, I've experienced a heartbreak. I've cried myself to sleep many a nights. And then I said, why am I doing this? Especially after my friends said, why do you keep doing this? And I said, let me pick up my phone. Let me plan my evening. Let me see what snacks I want to eat. Let me see what kind of girl dinner I want to make. And then, in the next night, I can do that for my marriage. So, with that being said, I hope you got some jewels from this. I'm going to have a part 2 to this because we need to talk a little bit more. This is a vast topic with very important memories that I want to share that are attached to it, okay? So with that being said, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and share this video because sharing is caring, okay? I'm going to leave you guys with some GLC, so make sure you're growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. I'm Coach Fatimah. I'll see you all in the next one, part 2. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.